Hello everyone, welcome to the Game Week 12 preview of champmanFPL. Hope you're having a good week, good weekend, in the circumstances, whichever it is. I know some of you listen as soon as you can, other people leave it till Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, hope you had a good weekend or a good week, whichever it is. All good, either way. Let's start by having a look at the current standings, shall we? After game week 11. Hope it went okay for you. I think there were a good few free hits out there, I noticed, which, again, I think we've had 2 good weeks in a row now for free hits. If you did it, you probably came out the right side. Lots of the big names returning again. From my sims, definitely. No massive upsets. So Liverpool lost, but yeah, red card affected, which can happen. And even without that, Bolton won a few of the sims from last week. Man United lost at home, so that was, the result was a shock, but 3-2. There were still returns to be had there. Beckham was in the picks of the week last week. He got a couple of returns. Van Nistelrooy got his goal. So although they lost, there was still probably positives to take from Man United assets. Giggs got something as well. Finally, the good run they've had. I thought Giggs might clean up over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and he hasn't really. But he did get something this week. Good week for free hits. I think Viduka was top of the pile last week, and he did really well. Boxic got his goal. Chelsea got their comfortable win. So yeah, lots of pretty big scores, I think. And we've got a new leader on the leaderboard. Christoph Sam, well played. Some definitely a good few names I recognise on this leaderboard, which is nice to see. Christoph I recognise. FPL English. There's definitely some regular watchers of the preview, so that's good to see. FPL JJ, he'll have. I just watched the first half of Villa Newcastle, so I'm sure he would have enjoyed that. So that's good. I enjoyed it as well, actually. I've got Target and Grealish in my normal FPL team. Well, I shouldn't say that though, should I? You're not allowed to say when you're doing well in FPL, so apologies. FPL FOMO's in our Ryder Cup group, which is. We're getting absolutely drilled at the moment, unfortunately. But we can still pull it back, guys. There's still time. Craig Kemp up there. Doing really well. Lots of familiar names. But let's see what we can do about Game Week 12, shall we? So, Blackburn, Charlton. Blackburn play normal at home. Pretty unusual. Most teams play attacking at home against a team like Charlton, but Blackburn seem like they tend to play a normal mentality at home. But you'd probably like to see them playing attacking, but Charlton have got a very similar tactics, so it kind of comes down to the 11 against the 11, and Blackburn well on top there. And they've done really well in the sim data. So I've updated this view slightly. So as you can see on the right there, I've put the man of the match for each game in. So that was one of the things people wanted to see when I asked for feedback a couple of weeks ago. So there we go. I've got to a point where I'm creating new data sets. So here that is now. So every week that going to Blackburn. 1 week Brian Hughes stole the show in a Charlton win. And then the colours as well. So I always try and point out when a team hits 3 or more, because for me personally, I prefer to look at that ceiling over and above the average when I'm thinking about transfers and captaincy. But it's personal preference. other people prefer the average, which is all good. There's probably no right or wrong answer really. But I thought it makes it easier to highlight how often a team is hitting 3 or more. If a team looks like they've got a high ceiling in a particular week, you're going to see lots of green. Or if they're hitting 1 or 2, then orange, and then obviously the clean sheets in red. So there we go, plenty of green for Blackburn. So although you can see it, I know a lot of you do like my little counting sessions. So I've had that feedback. So yeah, although we can see it, I've got more chance of getting it right now. It's green, but Blackburn have hit 3 or more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times out of 20. Blackburn have hit 3 or more there. So that's pretty good, isn't it? Wouldn't put you off targeting Blackburn for captaincy or transfer activity this week, as you'd probably expect at home to Charlton. Player stats then, so same every week, isn't it, really, with Blackburn. In Sims, they quite often play 2 up front, although they don't always do it. And obviously we only play once on a Thursday, so sometimes it doesn't happen. But they very often play 2 up front, so Janssen and Bent tend to come out on top. Bent's been doing pretty well, actually, isn't he, I think? I get that feeling. I haven't actually looked at his numbers, but I feel like Bent's cropping up a lot. And he's obviously not quite as expensive as Janssen. But here he is again, David Dunn, Ronald de Boer, Solano 2 guy. Damien Duff's been doing really well in our sim, so I wouldn't put you off him either. As I say again and again, this is really just an illustration of how the game's gone. It's all Blackburn. So people like Damien Duff not being on here, I wouldn't let that put you off putting them in your team for this week. Derby Arsenal. So Derby attack at home, sort of no matter what, and Arsenal will attack away to a low reputation team. So it's going to be an open game, this. An open game with a bit of a golfing class in the teams. So that tends to lead to a few heavy Arsenal wins. Again, lots of greens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 20. Arsenal have hit 3 or more. Derby, no greens at all. A reasonable amount of clean sheets for Arsenal, but Derby, the home team, you wouldn't bet against them hitting 1, as you can see. A couple of times they've hit 2. Lots of man of the match for Henry. And then Perez has got it a couple of times, and Lundberg as well. And Derby Arsenal, we've got one of those situations where Arsenal play 4-4-2, and Derby play with their formation where they've only got one player out wide. So we've got that overload out wide that we've talked about before. So Arsenal wingers could get in on the act this week. It's a shame you can't rely on who's going to play there, isn't it, really? Player stats, so Henry out on top, 22. I think I'm pretty sure that every time someone's hit 20 or more in Sims, they've actually returned for real. I'm pretty sure that's right, even if it was just an assist. So Henry is in that 20, has hit that 20 benchmark. Set myself up there. He's not going to return now, is he, this week? He really ought to. The other thing I've changed, which I forgot to mention, another thing people have asked for, is this times returned column. So Henry's got those 22 returns, as an example, in 12 games. So that doesn't mean he only made 12 appearances, but it means that his returns came across 12 games. So yeah, to be honest, just tallying up the amount of games a player got a return is a heck of a lot easier than counting the amount of appearances. Trying to count the amount of appearances for the whole squad is a bit of a ball ache, to be honest, and I don't think it adds that much value. But I'll try and give you what you want, what you've asked for, as much as possible. So this is a bit of a compromise, so you can see how many games those 22 returns came in. But as I say, that doesn't mean he made 12 appearances. It means that those 22 returns came in inside those 12 games. And obviously the same for everybody else, same principle applies. Leeds, Newcastle. So Leeds will attack at home. Newcastle, I think, will play defensively away to Leeds. I guess it might be one of those that's on the cusp, and they might play normal. But the rest would stay the same. I don't think it'll make a huge amount of difference either way, because they don't have men behind the ball. Whatever they do, defensive or normal, they won't have men behind the ball. So it might make a slim difference, but I think they'll play defensive, and Leeds will definitely attack at home. And this is what I saw in Sims. So this wasn't as convincing for Leeds as I thought it might be. So I'll be interested for this one to see other people's data, whether it's similar to this. I've questioned my own in the past, and then it's turned out to be right. So yeah, I'm not going to question it too heavily, but I'll definitely be interested to see what other people have got out of this, especially given that I've got 2 Shay Given man of the matches here. Which may have affected it, but in any case, Leeds look good for the win. Good chance of a clean sheet. A good handful of occasions where they've hit 3 or more. So I mean, I've got Viduka in my team, and I'm not gonna let this sway me into shipping him out. Definitely not. There's a good chance we get one of these games where they hit 3 or 4, or even if they hit 2 and he gets both of them, that would be nice. So yeah, it's not quite as emphatic as I thought it might be, but it's still pretty strong for Leeds. And not completely tragic for Newcastle, although there are quite a lot of blanks there. It's sort of shit or bust, isn't it, really, what's happened here, with a leaning towards bust. And a screenshot from one of the games then. So just for a bit of amusement, really. We normally get some 90th minute drama, don't we, on a Thursday night? And this is an example of what can happen in the 90th minute. So I couldn't quite fit it all in the screen. But what's happened here is Shearer has scored to make it 3-3. So that's just above where it says that was hit from 25 yards out. So for some 90th minute drama, Shearer has scored to make it 3-3. So Newcastle dramatically equalised. Leeds kicked off. Newcastle sat in. Leeds were pushed for the winner. And then Stephen Hughes, straight away after the Newcastle equaliser, has gone in hard on Viduka. He's got himself booked and he's given away a free kick. Hart's lined up the free kick. He's knocked it into Lee Bowyer. Bowyer's knocked it... he's knocked it into Viduka. Viduka's knocked it down to Bowyer. And then Stephen Hughes, again, he's just given away this free kick, has gone in on Lee Bowyer, given away a penalty and got himself sent off. So we've got a Shearer goal. Now we've got a Stephen Hughes red card and a penalty, and then Ian Hart tucks the penalty away. And as Leeds run away to celebrate, I guess Calamartri's just decided he's going to kick Robbie Keane, and he gets himself sent off as well. So all in the 90th minute, we've got a Shearer goal, a Stephen Hughes red card, an Ian Hart goal, and a Danny Calamartri red card. So yeah, that would be fun if something like that happened, wouldn't it? And player stats then, yeah. So as you saw, fairly low average goals for both teams. So there's no massive numbers here, but yeah, as I said, Viduka's not on here, but there were a good number of games where Leeds hit 3 or 4, so wouldn't be put off by it at all. Court and Shearer amongst it for Newcastle. Leicester Everton. So Leicester attack at home. Pretty aggressive. Attacking, hard tackling, press. Tough shift going to Filbert Street. And Everton play this kind of passive style, so they don't give the game up, which is good. So you get a reasonably open game here. But Leicester, yeah, as I said, slightly more aggressive tactic. They're coming out on top. They've hit 3 or more once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times out of 20 Leicester have hit 3 or more. So for a team of their standing, that's really, really strong. Plenty of man of the match for Leicester assets. Dennis Wise liked this game, seems to like this game, as we'll see in a minute. But Everton's still averaging over a goal a game, so don't like their defensive assets. But yeah, if you're kind of forced to play one of their midfielders, not the end of the world. Probably got half a chance. And then we see the player stats. So yeah, Dennis Wise. Not seen it much in Sims so far this season, but yeah, this one, plenty of returns for Wise, although it did occur in less than 50% of the games. So yeah, lots of games where he got more than one return. And then yeah, it's the usual candidates, isn't it? I got Sturridge on here twice, so I balls that up. I'm not going to restart the recording because I can't. But yeah, you probably add those together. So Sturridge did better than that because I've counted him up twice. Liverpool-Chelsea. So Liverpool will attack at home. I think Chelsea will play defensive. This is another one where it's a bit on the cusp. Liverpool are one of those sort of borderline teams. But given what I saw out of the Sims, I think Chelsea will probably play defensive. But there's a chance they'll play normal. But again, as I said earlier, it won't make too much difference really, because either way they won't be men behind the ball. And Liverpool are really good defensively. So I'd back these numbers either way really. Liverpool at home to a good team. We've seen it lots of times in the actual game. Liverpool at home to a good team tends to be tight, and that's what we're seeing here. So I'd probably back that to happen again. 1 or 2-0 to Liverpool looks where the money is. Lots of clean sheets for Liverpool, although they could be without their first choice centre back pairing, couldn't they? So Hippier came off injured in the last game week, and Henchos got sent off. So yeah, I'll be keen to see what the stream from Luke and Andy says about that. How long Hippie is out for. And I guess Henchos' ban won't come into effect straight away because it normally takes 2 weeks, doesn't it? But yeah, definitely a good chance they'll be without Hippier at least. Player stats, yeah, low numbers. Let's move on. We've spoken about this lots of times. It's always low numbers with Liverpool. The Manchester derby. Man City will play normal at home to a high reputation team. Man United will attack. And before we get into the Sims, so you'll see in a minute we had a red card affected game where Man City won 3-0. And just again for a bit of amusement, it really was a red card affected game. Both goalkeepers sent off for Man United within 25 minutes, and Veron sent off, and Tiato sent off for Man City. So write that one off really. So here were the sim results. So that's that 3-0 here, red card affected. So I've highlighted in the number of goals where the red card affected games are now. But otherwise, yeah, pretty good for Man United. 15 wins out of 20, 10 clean sheets out of 20, over 2 average goals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times out of 20 they've hit 3 or more. So yeah, lost 2 games in a row, but could get back on track here. Player stats, so Veron was out on top. Rude, pretty good, 12, Giggs, Keane, Beckham, York, you know the guys. I think what's interesting about this, coming back to the man of the match, I know Craig Kemp mentioned in one of his pods that we think of Ruud van Nistelrooy as a bonus machine, but actually away from home it doesn't happen quite so much, and that's actually been borne out here. He's only got man of the match once, so that's quite interesting. I hadn't really twigged that before Craig mentioned it on one of his pods. But yeah, Ruud the bonus machine. Apparently it's very much a home thing, and doesn't happen so much away. And this kind of backs that up. Only one man of the match away from home for Ruud. So I'll be interested to keep an eye on that over a few more weeks. Millwall Bolton. So Millwall will attack at home against a low rep team. Bolton won't be too terrified of Millwall. They won't give the game up. And pretty close this. So this is often the case where you get, if the home team isn't as good as the away team, but the home team have got a slightly more aggressive tactic, it tends to come out with this sort of really even thing. Because the home team have got the better tactic, but the away team have got the better players. Therefore, very close. So that's what we're seeing here. Attacking assets from either team got a reasonable chance this week, I'd say. Bolton have got a fairly good run coming up, and I think you could include this game as part of that, which we'll look at the end. So that might be something to think about. Cooper did particularly well for man of the match here. It's a tight games. Millwall are attacking, so he would have had some work to do, but work he was capable of doing. So yeah, plenty of man of the match for Cooper there. And then yeah, wouldn't particularly back either team for a clean sheet, but attacking assets from either team have got half a chance of getting at least something, I would say. Player returns, so Eiffel, Savarese and Wallace came out on top, but yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Pedersen did well this week. Spurs, Ipswich. Newcastle have just decided to bring Alan St Maximum on with 20 minutes left. Well done, Steve. Anyway, Spurs will attack this game. Ipswich won't give, again, the away team are not going to give this game up. So we've got potentially an entertaining week coming up, haven't we? We haven't seen, well, actually, Newcastle are the only away team that are going to go away and defend so far, and even they didn't do too badly, did they? Spurs coming out on top, over 2 goal average. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 20 games they've hit 3 or more. Ipswich did it a few times. We got Serini man of the match in a 0-0 here. But that's another thing to mention about this game. So we've since learned that Serini and I forget who Ipswich's second choice keeper was. Was it Marshall or something? But anyway, Serini has now joined Tottenham, and Ipswich's second choice keeper has gone out on loan at the same time to Bournemouth. So Ipswich are into their third choice keeper, which may swing this even more in Tottenham's favour, I guess. I can't imagine whoever it is, I can't imagine they're going to be anywhere near the level of Serini, because Serini is a decent keeper in this game. Player stats. So Rebrov into the 20s. Really consistent. 15 times he's got at least an assist. And then Slakovic, not a million miles behind. Obviously on penalties. So a nice pick for this week. And then Matt Holland. So Ipswich didn't do too badly. They've averaged over a goal a game still. And they've hit 3 a few times. 2. Another 3, 4, 5. Another 5 times. So yeah, Ipswich haven't done too badly there really. Those 7 blanks have really pulled down their average, but there's a good number of games where they've hit 2 or 3. It was a reasonably open game. And Matt Holland did alright. You've got the likes of Finidi, Royser. Royser seems to be getting some minutes lately. He's a really good player, really good underlying stats. Doesn't always get the minutes that he should do from the AI. But if Royser's playing, he's a really good player. And in Sims, often in Sims, someone like Royser won't get on this list because, as I just said, he doesn't get the minutes that his ability really deserves from the AI. But on a Thursday night, if he's in the team, there's a good chance of him doing well in an open game like this. Sunderland Borough. Sunderland will attack at home. Borough will play normal. So again, another away team that's not going to come and just roll over. And pretty tight, yeah. So Borough probably have just about got the better team, haven't they? But Sunderland with the more aggressive tactics. So it's that thing again where the tactic against the better team brings out a close-looking game. Sunderland just shading it, but I say they're just shading it, but they've got a 5-0 there that was red card affected. But then again, Middlesbrough have had a 5-0 that was red card affected as well. So actually, that's fair enough, isn't it? I suppose. So yeah, lots of really tight games in this one. We know, don't we, from both teams, the likes of Tone, Southgate, really good at the back. They've both got a good goalkeeper. So yeah, we'll just have to see what the strikers can do on the day. But it looks like it's, odds are that it will be a fairly tight game. Probably not one to target for captaincy. Player returns, yeah, not huge numbers. Boxic and Zepeda did well for Borough. Michael Gray, but yeah, Kevin Phillips is a candidate, isn't he? Sabon's been doing well lately. He's playing lots of games in the Sims. Arca's always a threat with free kicks. Finally, Villa Watford. So Villa will attack at home, and Watford again, they're not going to go away and roll over. But for this one, yeah, Watford are not such a good team, are they? So that's probably not the way to go. They'd probably be better off playing defensive, maybe. Because Villa, it looks like are just steamrollering them, really. Definitely one of the more explosive teams of the week, Villa look like this week. What we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's a real treat for the fans of my counting. 13 out of 20. They've hit 3 or more. Look at all those 4-1s. Crazy. I'd really enjoy it if Villa won 4-1 on the night. Yeah, the last time we had that many occurrences of the same result was Newcastle 1, Blackburn 1. So it'd be nice if it happened again with something more outlandish. So lots of good returns for Aston Villa. But Watford, again, they're still averaging over a goal a game. So lots of people have got Petkov in their team. So, I mean, yeah, it may well be the week to move him on. But if you've got something more pressing to do, maybe it's not a complete disaster if you have to leave him in one more week. So player returns, Balaban, Angel, Hadji. I tell you what would be good is if we had the Villa team leak this week. Oh no, we're not going to get that. We had it last week. Never mind. Them's the breaks. I would have loved to have had the Villa lineup this week because Heider Helgeson has been stinking my team up for the last few weeks. And yeah, if I could have known that I could just move him to Dion Dublin for this game and Dublin was going to play, that would have been ideal. But yeah, we're not sure. We're not sure, are we? Because we've seen a lot of Angel and Balaban. Dublin came in last week. But, is it going to go back to Angel and Balaban now? I don't know. I just don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe I might just do Helgeson to Dublin regardless, because it could be so good if it happens. But yeah, who knows? So that's Villa Watford, and I've just realised as I'm doing this that I haven't cut out the extra bits. So bear with just one moment while I sort that out, because we don't want to start all over again. Talk amongst yourselves. Still 2-0 Villa, that's good. Right. You're going to get a sneak inside the cave now, because I haven't cut these out. Game week 12, here we go. So there's some previous weeks. And here's this week. So Henry was on top, wasn't he? 22 returns. Yeah, really good fixture. Arsenal away to Derby. Arsenal are going to have that overload on the wings against Derby. Derby are going to try and attack. So yeah, open game. The formation and the quality of player is well in Arsenal's favour. Rebrov did really well at home to Ipswich, who will have their third choice keeper in goal. Janssen did well for Blackburn at home to Charlton, but yeah, as we saw, pretty much anyone in the Blackburn team can do well in that game. Balaban home to Watford, really good game for Aston Villa. That could be read as Angel or Hadji, or Hendry, Boateng even. Dion Dublin, if he starts, could be dynamite in that game. Slakovic, also did well at home to Ipswich, and then Veron, Man United looked pretty good away to Manchester City. So they're the picks of the week. So I think we got 5 out of 6 last week from that. So that was pretty good. Strike rate on that has been really good. I do like to stress that the team stats are more important. This stuff is definitely more important than the player stats. But the strike rate for the really high returners has been excellent. I've been really pleased with it. So hopefully we can keep that going. And then the look ahead. So defensive first. So so again we've got rid of game week 11. Game week 12 is now in, and it's now out to game week 15. Picking clean sheets is really difficult, so not too many greens. But Arsenal have got a couple of home games coming up where the away team are going to come and really defend. What else? We've got Leeds have got a similar thing. Newcastle and Villa gives them half a chance. 2 out of the next 3. Everton for a lower price bracket. Man City play defensive away from home. Millwall play normal, but they're just not very good. So 2 out of Everton's next 4 defensively don't look too bad. Man United, they've got Liverpool who will come and defend, and then Ipswich at home, 2 out of the next 4. And then Villa, I wouldn't class any of Villa's games as green necessarily, but orange, 3 orange out of the next 4. They've got a reasonable chance considering the price of their players. And then attacking chances, Arsenal, as I said last week, have got a really good run, and that run stretches out into game week 15. So it's definitely still time to jump on them, I think. Blackburn have got a pretty tasty run coming up. I mean, Aston Villa here. I mean, Blackburn play defensive away from home, but they're normally fairly tight games when Blackburn go away. But you don't bet against them getting something. So even though they'll play defensive away to Aston Villa, I wouldn't class that as red, because Blackburn seem to know what they're doing away from home. Bolton, as I mentioned earlier, have got a good run. Chelsea away is tough, but again, when you consider the price of Bolton assets, 3 out of their next 4 is pretty decent. Chelsea, a good run. So Liverpool, I don't really like them away to Liverpool, but after that, reasonable run. Yeah, I mean, you can see. We don't need to go through it all. You can read into that whatever you'd like, really. That's my take on it. Okay, I think that's it. That felt that felt a little bit messy this week, so apologies. But hopefully you found it useful. Good luck with the game week, guys, and see you next week maybe. Okay, cheers.